Hello, my name is Dale DuFay. I'm going to do the audio on this video for Mary Hall. And we're going to use Google Earth because many of you realize that Mary monitors a lot of webcams and the ISS live feed. And she also monitors Google Earth for anomalies. And there are many. They're all over the Earth. A lot of times there's areas you look and there's incomplete data. But they're getting pretty good at completing this. But there's some areas that are in question that are always blurry. You know, it makes you wonder what they're trying to hide. But there's some things they clearly show. And in this video, we're going to go over an area in Antarctica. But there's a lot of stuff around Antarctica. It's just phenomenal. But it's in this peninsula here. And right in this area right here are four very obvious structures. I mean, you can't deny it. Actually, I'm in the wrong area here. It's so, like a lot of these things are so difficult to find again, unless you drop a pen. But it's in this area, you know, beyond the peninsula. When you go around the coast here, it's in there. But again, she was looking closely. You have to look real close because they're right here. See them? You can't, if you weren't looking for them, you wouldn't even see these. But when you zoom in, okay, let's true it up north here. If you look at the lower right corner, there's a compass. I always like to try to keep this orientated north when I'm looking at it. I know Mary does too. But look at these things. I mean, come on. Those are not natural. And then there's a lot of, amazing things they're discovering in Antarctica with the ice receding. They're not going to tell us, but they're remarkable things. I can go on and on about that, but it almost sounds crazy. They're finding, if you listen to Linda Moulton Howe, she's had whistleblowers tell her that there's huge structures underneath the ice that they've actually been able to enter, and their temperature inside of them is a perfect 72 degrees. They're well lit without any light fixtures, things like that. So it's obviously very high tech, and we're talking huge facilities. One whistleblower was actually saying that the one building could have been as upwards of a mile, mile wide. And then you hear stuff like that from those whistleblowers, which you have to believe, because why would they be risking their own reputation and saying they've seen these things, actually witnessed them? And what's interesting is they use like sacks of water and heat it up with a microwave, and it actually melts the ice and penetrates into these areas that they're finding. Really incredible, crazy stuff. I mean, they're supposedly finding woolly mammoths and things like that fully intact. Human type, humans and everything that seem to be, in this state of preservation or hibernation. It's very strange, but it's like, again, that doesn't surprise me one bit, especially when you look on Google Earth and you see this. And then speaking of the size of the buildings that whistleblower is talking about that were beneath the ice, that doesn't surprise me, because this, if you look at this building, we'll measure it. Look at this building is over 1.5 miles wide. This particular one here, incredible. So these are huge, huge structures. And again, they're very evidently not a natural feature. I mean, this is obviously a building. It looks like buildings we see on Earth today, except they're not this big. These are huge. And again, that's what some of the whistleblowers are reporting, is these gigantic structures under the ice. And this one's off on the ocean floor off the coast. But again, we talk about it often in previous Google trotting videos, is that the water was much lower during the Ice Age. Now, you would think the southern ice cap would have encompassed all this, but it's believed that Antarctica was in the temperate zone during the Ice Age. Now, these are not natural. It's as simple as that. And when you zoom in on them, uh, they look just like buildings. You could see this one's even like rounded over right there, and but you could tell they're very tall as well. And this one is very interesting here. It looks like from a top view like steps almost, but all of them have similarities to structures we see today. See how this one's even rounded, and this appears to be rounded, or maybe that's just a, you know, how it looks on the camera. But let's do a 3D. Let's see what these look like. Again, at some points, it may appear to be inverted to you. See how it looks like they're inverted already, or at least to me. Sometimes, like when I upload the video, it looks normal, but you could see how high these structures are. They're actually casting a shadow. Again, these are obviously human-made structures, made in antiquity, a long, long time ago. There were civilizations on this earth, and we can say this with confidence simply because there's evidence like this all over the world, that there obviously was a very high-tech civilization on planet Earth during and before the Ice Age. And here's evidence right here. To me, it's very clear. I think this is a very good find by Mary. She's got a keen eye because, again, it's very difficult to find otherwise. You can't just, you have to look and search, and you have to zoom in close and cover every square inch, and that takes a great deal of time and patience, which Mary seems to have abundance. Now, abundance patient. But see, this is trued up north, and you can see the buildings are lined up to that. But again, we know that prehistoric north was different. It was more like this. But who knows what the orientation of the continent of Antarctica was back then. Again, it was believed to, apparently it was into the temperate zone, because it's incredible what they're finding underneath the ice. Now, again, a lot of times when Mary finds an anomaly like this one and like the previous ones, she'll comb the ocean floor to see if there's anything similar, just in case it may be something natural. But this is an extremely unique feature on the Antarctic Ocean floor. Very unusual, and there's no denying it. It's there, right there. I mean, these are humongous structures that were built long, long ago. Like I say, things like this and other, incredibly old monolithic structures on Earth I like to say they're ancient to the ancients. So who knows how far back civilization went on these Earths. See how incredibly difficult it is to find these things? Like the point of view we're at now is over 1,000 miles from the Earth, but even when you zoom in, if you're not looking for them, they're still difficult to find. Now, a lot of these patterns here and things like this, I talked about it in the previous video, are very, very predominant all over the surface of the ocean floor. So, those things you need to expect. But there's so many anomalies. It's just incredible. And a lot of them, there's many, many on land, but it seems to be the most intriguing ones are on ocean floor. Again, this, I'll do a pin drop so you can check it out for yourself. Let's do a pin drop right now. Okay, it's 74 degrees, 8 foot 31 inches south. I mean, that is that's almost to the 90 degree north, or 90 degrees south, I'm sorry. And it's 103 degrees, 27 feet, 4 inches west. So you can mark that down if you want to check this out for yourself. Again, there's nothing like that. There's a lot of unusual anomalies around Antarctica. There's no doubt about it. And when you look on the continent itself, you can find many strange things. I know Mary's picked up a few besides this one, and it's real interesting. We can go over those in upcoming videos. Again, I like to, uh, I did these videos previously on my own channel, which I've since deleted. But I used to do what I call Google trotting videos, and Mary agrees with the name of the. I think, well, we can name these videos Google trotting videos. It's fine with her. But there's so many, you know. It's just we can. What's really fun with this tool too is we can measure the Earth from pole to pole, and then that way we can get the circumference. But we can see 290 degrees north right there. So we'll see what from 90 degrees north to 90 degrees south, it should be about 12,400 miles. So the Earth is 24,800 miles in circumference. Right up there. So, there's a lot to find on this jewel of Earth. I get a kick out of, even on my previous channel, I ran into it, and Mary and I are firm believers in the Earth being a globe. There's a lot of people out there that believe the Earth is flat. I thought that issue was resolved about 600 years ago. Apparently not. It's a huge community out there that believes the Earth is flat, but Mary and I do not believe that whatsoever. It's obviously a globe, and why wouldn't it be? It makes so much sense. They're discovering that atoms are very similar to the solar systems. There's a nucleus, like our sun, and then there's planets, orbiting it. And so why wouldn't it be a globe? It makes too much sense. I think the flat Earth issue is a psychological operation. I really do. In fact, I can imagine the people that started it, the gatekeepers, whoever started it, are very surprised at how well it took off. So. But anyway, I believe it's just a distraction. Because in reality, who really cares? You know what I mean? It doesn't change anything. The only argument that flat earthers have is that, hey, they've been lying to us all along. And my response to that is, there's nothing new in that, But the Earth is a globe. There's no doubt about it. It's 24,800 miles in circumference. And I've known people personally that have circumvented the Earth, so, it's impossible. A lot of the argument that flat earthers will use is the fisheye camera lenses. But yeah, well, what about the college professors and students who took hot air balloons up with the old cameras with the flat lens? They took hot air balloons up specifically to measure the curvature of the Earth, which is believed to be 9 feet every mile. They recorded it with their old-fashioned flat lens cameras in the 1800s, and indeed were able to measure, not only measure, but observe the curvature of the Earth. And you can also go up into some tall buildings. There's a building in Chicago called the John Hancock Building that has an observatory on the top floor. And you can actually go up there and see the curvature and do a little bit of math and realize that, yes, the Earth is round and a globe. It's not flat. Again, what is this? I mean, the times of Charlemagne? Really? I thought we'd been beyond that, But it's really remarkable that there's a huge community out there that believes the Earth is flat. And it's also, if you notice, those people that believe the Earth is flat are very belligerent about their beliefs. In fact, if you talk about the Earth being a globe like it is, they berate you and belittle you and make you sound like you're, so they're very angry people for some reason. Now, I can go to them and very friendly say, I don't believe it's flat, I believe it's a globe, and they'll fire back viciously. They're very angry people. Almost every time they leave comments, they're very mean. And they seem like they're part of that hater group. They hate very much. That's, and what's really ironic is they call people like Mary and myself ignorant, you know, when in reality, they're the ones that really, really look foolish. Again, this issue was settled hundreds of years ago. And many of us, you could find people that have circumvented the Earth. Now, that would be impossible if it was flat. I mean, and there's the ISS, which orbits it. There's too much out there that it's and then yet we're the stupid ones, But that's funny. That's what I thought it'd be worth mentioning because, of course, she's gotten some belligerent comments from the people who believe that the Earth is flat, which again is totally outrageous. They're the ignorant ones. Again, it's an obvious psychological operation. It's very obvious, and really, it probably took off better than the people thought that would. This just goes to show how many ignorant people there are out there. To fall for that, that's incredible. And for the sake of argument, for their sake, if you did look into it, which I never did, because again, it's a psychological operation that's designed to make you delve into it and essentially waste your time. But when you do, they have very good arguments, and it's only because of really the stuff going on around the Earth now. But again, I didn't look, for little I've heard and seen, it's like they have a good point, but the facts are facts. I haven't never looked, I never will spend any time researching it. I've had a lot of people encourage me to do so. You need to look into it, and I'd say, no, I'm not going to. I'm not going to waste my time looking into an argument that can be, they have good arguments. But the fact is the Earth is round. It's a globe. I mean, it's very apparent. And why wouldn't it be? It's more natural. It's just, again, anyway, I just wanted to touch on that a little bit. And because they're out there, believe me, they're very, very hateful. They're very critical, and like I said, it's so ironic that they if you think the Earth is a globe, they think that you're utterly ignorant and stupid, and they don't have no problem telling you that. When the truth of the matter is they're the ones that look very, very ignorant. But I never let them know personally. If they make comments, I never even reply, or Mary doesn't even bother replying because they're so belligerent. But again, this is, back to some of these Google Earth finds. This is remarkable, isn't it? I mean, that is not natural. That was obviously made by a high-tech civilization when this was above water and Antarctica was ice-free. So I thank you for watching, and we'll Google trot at you later.